Back to another big story we've had for a while here, and this time in Calgary, recovering from the flood that wreaked havoc on so many communities across southern Alberta. Our next guest has a great way to help rebuild while remembering the impact of this disaster and what it did to the province. Jose Rodriguez is editor-in-chief of the Calgary Sun. He joins us from Calgary to tell us about something called Flood of 2013 fundraising project. Jose, what is this project?
Well, I have one right here. It's a magazine that we've put together, compiling all of the images from the flooding. And I know that you've seen them, and I know Blanchard's out in High River right now, and I think the whole nation's seen the devastation. The other part that hasn't been seen as much has been the volunteer spirit that's come over Calgary and southern Alberta. So we figured out, we want to help too, and we've all gone and cleaned basements and everything else. We wanted to take it a step further. So we decided to do what we do best, and we just took all of our images from our photographers, created a 48-page magazine. The company's been kind enough to swallow all the costs, so 100% of this goes to the Red Cross Relief Fund.
How much does it sell for, Jose, and where can I get it?
Well, where you are, the easiest way to get it would probably be to go online. There's an online button to purchase it there, but here in Calgary it's available at all Max stores, and we're also finding places to sell it in some of the really hardest hit towns like High River and in the Canmore area and places like that.
Yeah, and as I understand it, the price tag is what, $10?
$10, and like I said, 100% of that goes to the Red Cross Relief Fund.
Okay. Now, in terms of the pictures, do they focus on the positive aspects, and the cover looks like a hero, if you will, a fireman carrying a victim, or on the devastation of of Calgary and how quickly it's rebuilt?
I think we tried to capture both. So if you take a look at the book the way it is, it starts off with a small story just telling of the devastation, a timeline of how it all hit us, and the rest is very much pictorial. So at the beginning, it starts out with a lot of the flooding shots, the devastation, and as you move through the book, you get to the cleanup, you get to the heroes, you get to the next door neighbors who are baking cookies and handing them to people who are just showing up to clean basements and do whatever else is needed. So I think at the end of the day, it captures the spirit. It's more of an inspirational magazine, but it also has a lot of the devastation because those pictures are just, they're awesome.
Are they ever? And you made the point that 100% of the proceeds do go to the Red Cross Southern Alberta Relief Fund. How is that money being used? I mean, what do people in Alberta need right now?
Well, I think that the big ticket money is going to have to come from the governments, but the Red Cross is more dealing with some of the immediate needs of some of the people who were displaced, some of the people who don't have a place to be, and things like that. The big money is going to have to come from the province and the feds, and it's going to be expensive. I'm going to guess that by the time this is all over, this will maybe the most expensive natural disaster we've had.
Yeah, I think that's probably a fair estimate. I think the whole country was A, surprised, and B, proud of how quickly Calgary did recover, especially to get the Stampede up and running. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I've lived in Calgary since I was an 8-year-old boy, and I've always been a proud Calgarian, a proud Westerner. I have never been more proud than I have been in the past month. And there are a couple of people saying, how can you have Stampede continue on during all this devastation? I can tell you, I've been lucky enough to be stampeding the last 3 nights, as you can tell, and the people who are unwinding in a very special way. There is a focus. These people they may have gone 10, 15 days without a day off. They're letting loose at Stampede. Stampede is our trademark. Stampede is Calgary. If we would have canceled it, we would have, it's sort of an admission of defeat, and that's just not the way we are.
No, I could see that. Are there more people at Stampede, your sense, or less?
You know what, my sense, to be honest, is less. There's not as many people. And that may be a case that a lot of the tourists saw the flooding and decided to stay away. But those that are there they have some great spirit.
They're diehards.
They're diehards.
Absolutely. Jose, great idea, great concept. Thanks so much.
Thanks for the time.
And go to calgarysun.com to pick up your copy if you're not in Calgary, or drop by a Max store or whatever it is and pick up and put your $10 in. Jose Rodriguez, though, was the Calgary Sun editor-in-chief, and Gina Phillips will have more on the flood of 2013 and the fundraising efforts next hour as well.